You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. By going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com, you can make this possible. Now, I was going to talk about this on Monday, but I want to squeeze this in right now. Here I just gave you two stories, folks, of white supremacists doing what they do. Of course, we had Charlottesville, where Heather Heyer was actually killed as well. We have a number of other stories out there as well. And so I saw a story today where Secretary Ben Carson, Trump's HUD secretary, said he didn't see any evidence of an increase in white supremacy. How hard is it for a cabinet secretary to look at what the FBI and others are reporting as a dramatic increase of white supremacists in the last 2 years, of course, 2 years since Donald Trump has been president? What the hell? Okay, a neurosurgeon, you're supposed to be really smart. What the hell is Ben Carson looking at? Has he paid any attention to the news?
Well, I think it's willful ignorance on the part of Ben Carson to say that. I mean, you can look at any number of our intelligence organizations. You can look online. I mean, you can just look at the number of anti-Semitic, anti-Muslim, anti-Black hate crimes that we've seen. Tree of Life. I mean, you can go on. And so I think this is what he's saying is it hasn't happened to me. So it's not happening to anybody else. And so I think Ben Carson has been very clear about the fact that he doesn't want to address these sort of more systemic violence issues. And the fact that racism language or racist language isn't accompanying the crime, I think doesn't make it any less hateful, any less violent. This young man is dead. You know, this young woman in Charlottesville is dead because somebody thought that they were less than human. And I think that's the sort of real standard, not whether the language was there or not at the time of the offense.
You know, and also
the Center for the Study of Hate and Extremism, they have documented this rise in hatred. What in the world is Carson talking about?
Well, there's clearly an association between violence and hate. You don't act this violently without hating someone. But what's also dangerous about Ben Carson is that he's promoting hateful policy, which is also an insidious way to hurt people. And so he's not enforcing many of the anti-discrimination laws for the tenants in his public housing. So it's not only ignoring this explicit violence against people every day, but he's proliferating violence through his unwillingness to enforce policy.
Teresa, I'm going to read this. This is from a Time magazine article. It says that forthcoming analysis of FBI data done in conjunction with Cal State's John Reitzel and West Virginia University's James Nolan found that November 2016 was the worst month for hate crimes in the U.S. since September 2002, with 758 incidents. Also, a 2017 ABC Washington Post poll found, again, 9% of respondents regarded Nazi views as acceptable. When you look at what is happening all these different places, what we're dealing with is we are dealing with the reality of white extremists, white supremacists who are operating with impunity. And it is luckily because of video, we're able to track these folks down.
If it wasn't for technology, social media, I'll probably just stick with social media, these incidents wouldn't be tracked. We wouldn't be able to have these pollings. We wouldn't be able to have these datas. And moreover, we wouldn't be able to have these conversations today to figure out where some of these instances are coming from and providing better solutions for it. But I do think we need to take a more strategic look on some of the policies locally that needs to change, because sitting and listening to our two panelists, talking about Ben Carson and his ignorance, I mean, if you keep turning a blind eye to
right.
systemic issues, then I think it's maybe time for you to leave public office and maybe go back to being a brain surgeon.
Let me also read this here. The Southern Poverty Law Center, USA Today reported this in February. The number of hate groups in the United States is the highest in 20 years, according to the Southern Poverty Law Center. So maybe Ben Carson might want to give them a call if he needs to see evidence for himself.
All right, folks, back to that Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment.
All right, folks, calling all HBCU alumni, students, and leaders. Enter the Ford Motor Company HBCU Mobility Challenge and win $25,000 for your school. Building on their long-term support of HBCUs, Ford is looking to improve mobility in HBCU communities through innovative solutions. The winning program will receive a grant of up to $25,000 to implement the proposal. The deadline to apply is March 31st, 2019. Go to FGB.Life for more information and to apply. Remember, Ford goes further in our community. We thank them for being a part of partners here at Roland Martin Unfiltered.
Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video.